tomorrow marks the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. For anyone who's been there, there is something so eerily quiet nowadays. For a place which was ground zero for the murder of Jews and other minorities by the Nazis during the Second World War. And as we noted on the show last week, the King is leading a delegation to Auschwitz for the commemoration, and Prince William is leading the official Holocaust memorial service in the UK. Now, Queen Camilla, well, she's also doing her bit to mark the occasion. And as the patron of the Anne Frank Trust, she had this to say during her speech on Thursday.
The deadly seeds of the Holocaust were sown at first in small acts of execution, of aggression and of discrimination towards those who had previously been neighbours and friends. Over a terrifying short period of time, those seeds took root through the complacency of which we can all be guilty, of turning away from injustice, of ignoring that which we know to be wrong, of thinking that someone else will do what's needed, and remaining silent.
It's commendable to see this occasion taken so seriously by the royal family. Everyone is taking their part to remind us all of a place we never want to go back to. Now, joining me now is Royal Editor for the Daily Mirror, Russell Meyers. Russell, Camilla is just such an excellent support act for Charles and Williams, and she hasn't disappointed here. I thought a very thoughtful and timely speech.
Yeah, very much so, Cara. Great to see you again. And certainly, huge, poignant moment in the royal calendar. And as you rightly said, it's something that the royals have taken very, very seriously over the years. I'm going to be in Poland with the King for his very, very first visit to Auschwitz. Queen Camilla was there at the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz 5 years ago. And Prince William will be leading a delegation in London. And I think when the world is coming together, it's very, very interesting to see that the royals are coming together as well. And the King said to some survivors at Buckingham Palace at a reception just last week that he felt it was absolutely imperative and important for him to be there. And I think when you look at what's happened with him over the last year, very, very stop-start period within his legacy, he's very, very keen to make sure that these important moments are cemented in his diary, and a very, very poignant moment it will be on Monday.
Yeah, very fair observation. And speaking of great support acts, David Beckham had this to say this week.
Over the years, I've done a lot with the Prince of Wales, and I've always been there whenever he's asked me to get involved with things, whether it be veterans, whether it be the London Air Ambulance Service, which we raised funds to get 2 new helicopters for London. These are the things that when I was a kid, I used to see the helicopters going over and you knew exactly what they were going to do. They were on the way to an emergency. So to be involved in that has always been a yes for me. Whenever the Prince of Wales sends me a message and says, I need you to do this or be there, it's always a yes.
We speak about the Beckhams often on this show, and David obviously is an unabashed royalist. Should we expect to see more of the Waleses and the Beckhams working together in the future?
Well, it's a good double act. I've certainly seen it up close and personal when I've been on engagements with Beckham and Prince William, and some unfair commentary, I think, over the week saying that he's just hankering for this knighthood that he's been sort of left hanging over the last few years because he made some unsavoury comments about the Honours Committee a few years ago. But one thing is for certain about David Beckham, and he said it himself, he gets very emotional when talking about the royal family and his family history. He said his mother and his grandparents would have been very, very, very proud of him as well. One of the first things he did when he was made an ambassador of the King's Foundation was to ring his mother, and he said she was in tears. And I think for Beckham, certainly, I mean, he's had all the plaudits in his sporting life. He's been a superstar in his business ventures, but he's got a huge affection and affiliation with the royal family. And I think when they come together, they use the sort of star quality of them both. And that moment that he was talking about raising money for the London Air Ambulance is a hugely important charity, not only just in the UK, but across the country. He's got together with Prince William. And if they come calling, he will be there. And that's great to know.
Very genuine friendship, it seems. Now, Burns Night was celebrated in the UK this week, and it included the release of a new portrait of the King. Russell, for our Australian viewers, can you tell us what Burns Night is all about and why is it celebrated so broadly, including by the royal family?
Well, it's a great excuse for a get-together and a party, you know, and it happens every year. January 25th, the Scots get together to commemorate the sort of life and legacy of their own bard, Robert Burns. And the King and Prince and Princess of Wales were celebrating over the weekend as well. The King released a new photograph taken by Millie Pilkington, who your viewers will know because she's had such a great working relationship with the Princess of Wales over the last couple of years. And this is an opportunity for the royal family, as we saw in a video that the Prince and Princess of Wales put out, to celebrate, you know, Scottish culture. And it's something very, very important for the royal family. Of course, we saw that really played out when the late Queen passed away in Scotland. The commemorations in Scotland, the royal family held in high esteem in certain quarters in the country. And I think the respect is certainly mirrored by the royal family as well.
And Russell, the palace recently announced that Princess Katherine is in remission. We all heard that news a couple of weeks ago. She went to visit the Royal Maddern Hospital to thank them for taking care of her. But she also noted this week that she's delighted that the NHS initiative for babies will be extended. Now, early childhood has always been an area of focus for Princess Katherine, but what can we look forward to in 2025 from Princess Katherine in health advocacy?
Well, great news, first and foremost, that she's in remission, and seeing her back out on jobs over the last couple of weeks is a great step in the right direction. And I certainly think we will see more of the Princess of Wales in this arena because it's very, very important to her. You know, you've got her early years' work, which is embedded in the future generations of our children, but also this affiliation she now has with cancer patients. And the Royal Marsden Hospital in West London is a world-leading cancer hospital, and that's why she went there to thank the doctors and nurses who had treated her, to speak to patients who are undergoing their treatment at the moment. And this new trial in the National Health Service is going to be helping thousands and thousands of babies and their families. And it's something that, you know, she can lend her support to. It's something that just despite when she was going through her cancer treatment, she was being kept updated about the early years' work and the sort of the future projects that she can get involved in. And whilst it might still be, you know, baby steps for her to be getting back to work, I do think that she will be maybe choosing the pillars of her work more carefully. So maybe less is more, but when you look to the future over the course of the year, I definitely think we'll be seeing her operating in this arena a lot more.
And just one last thing before we go. We've got about a minute left. Today's Australia Day. And we understand there's a bit of a rumour that Zara and Mike Tyndall may be considering a move to Oz. Is there anything in this, Russell?
Well, you know, there just might be, because, you know, and it certainly won't be under the cloud that Harry and Meghan left the royal family and ended up in Canada and then the States. But Zara and Mike have a huge affection for Australia. And why wouldn't they? I mean, you just have to turn on the television and see the weather and all the people out on the beaches. But they're huge ambassadors for the royal family abroad. And the Australians have taken them into their hearts. You know, they're visiting the horse racing. They've got business interests in Australia. They've spoken with great affection for the country. So watch this space. You know, you could be getting Zara and Mike, and you never know, I might get a trip out to cover their engagements as well, Karen. I'll come and see you.
Well, you would all be very welcome here, I can assure you. Russell Meyers, thank you so much.